you know, the first time you run the recommendation, none of those check boxes are checked. The auditor thinks through the process and says which ones need to be done before the house is weatherized and who's going to do it. When they check all the appropriate boxes, they hit apply or OK to save it. And just remember that once the auditor's done that, if they want to re-look at what they've done, so Minnie, go ahead and check for mold and moisture that first one needs to be done before weatherization.
Yeah.
And say it's going to be done by the client. And then go ahead and hit apply.
Yeah.
And now let's just say that go back up to the audit form, and you know the next day you left, you came back, and at this point when you come back into an audit after you've already run it, you can see that you've already created it because there's a checkbox next to the create link, and that the view is activated. So to view your recommendation, once you've already created it, you would use the view link. So click on view, and that way you don't regenerate it. And you can see that the audit is showing you how the auditor already filled in those check boxes up there. If you had clicked create and says, yes, overwrite my results, you'd get the same recommendations, but all those check boxes would be blank again. So make sure you're wary of that or aware of that. So basically, once you create it, you just want to use view to look at your results from then on.
Yeah. If you click on audit results, then
so this is, now we're looking at the report, what we call the recommendation report, that you can print out.
And you will find that these check boxes are marked in the output in that PDF report.
Yep. So, do you guys have any questions at the second?
I'm going to debrief.
Yeah, no, we're good. Like I said, Mark, we're going to do a debrief here in our room and maybe communicate some questions to you this afternoon.
Yep, that'll be fine. And let me just do one more thing here to wrap up. Then, Minnie, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so you'll be bounced off. Okay.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, why don't you? Oh, here it is. Okay. So let me just show you this last slide then. And what's the next steps? So the next steps are, we'll just continue to answer your questions and provide you assistance as you need it, okay? So when you huddle this afternoon, if you got anything you want to talk about, just, send us the questions. We'll either call you or we can do another webinar or whatever you want to do. And then when you're kind of ready and we're ready, we'll set you up with your own database. So right now, when you're logging in and we're logging into a database that has lots of other people. But what we'll do is we'll set you up with a database that's just for the state of Connecticut. So when your auditors, their user IDs, when they type in their user ID and password, they'll link into just a database that only the state of Connecticut people connect to. It's on our server, but it's only for the state of Connecticut. And when we set that up, what we'll do is we'll set up the state staff as state administrators so they can look at all the agencies' data, but they really can't enter anything in any of them, but they can monitor everybody. And if the state people want, we'll create a state agency form so they can play around and create audits too. And then what you would do is you would create agencies for all the agencies in your state, and you would at least get an administrator user entered for that agency so that agency administrator can then create other user IDs and passwords for other auditors. Or you could do it if you wanted to. And when we set this up, I'll show you how to do that the first time, okay?
Yeah, that'll be great. We're working out some details on naming conventions and
Right.
stuff for jobs and things like that, so.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's our next step is we'll just keep answering your questions, and then we'll set you up a database. We'll help you get that database set up, and then you'll be kind of off and running, and just we'll always be available if you need any help.
Sounds good.
Mark, this is Barbara. I do have one question.
Yep.
Hey, the building audit must be entered in order to run a successful health and safety report, correct?
You have to create, you have to enter the account.
Okay, I enter the account, and then when it gets to the audit, can I create an audit but not put in all of the building characteristics and go straight to the health and safety section?
Yeah, so what you have to do for when say you go, you want a client, what you have to do is you have to create the account. And all you've got to do is fill in this top box. And really all you got to do is fill in the agency, the name and the number, and the state. The rest of this is all, maybe the city and the state. The rest of it's all optional, and you don't have to fill in anything under this quarterly report section or this section.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we don't use it right now for either multi or the health and safety audit. This is not used for anything right now.
Okay.
So under the account, all you got to do is fill in this top section. And then once you do that, you can then go over here, click health and safety, click new, and you can create a health and safety audit for that account, for that building, for that house.
Okay.
Now, on the health and safety audit, we do ask for this very simple information on the house that you have to fill out.
Right. Okay. That was my question.
Okay.
You answered.
Okay, so I'm going to stop this recording.